So this is going to be a pretty short video because I didn't record much of the process. But basically I bought an F350 with a 7.3 for pretty cheap. Got it for $800. Bought it non-running. When we went to look at it, there was a puddle of oil underneath of it. So the truck had no oil in it. And the guy said he couldn't get it to run. Well, as most of you know, 7.3 can't run without oil because the injectors used the oil, the engine oil. Right, because they're a Huey injector. But anyway, so we got it home. Didn't know where the oil was leaking from, so we put oil in it. Got the truck to start, and then we found out where it was leaking later. But we were able to save the oil. We put a clean tray under it and got the oil out of it. But anyway, so yeah, I didn't know how massive the oil filter was on a 7.3 until I bought one. So that's pretty interesting. But yeah, all it took was just put some oil in it. I bought 2 new batteries for it. That was a little bit expensive. Also, when we went to look at it, we wanted to check the mileage on the truck, right? Because we didn't know if it had 100,000 or a million. We didn't really know. The guy said it only had 180,000 kilometers on it, which is obviously pretty good for a 7.3. But we couldn't get the gauge cluster to turn on, so we bought it anyway, thinking it's a 7.3, so it doesn't matter that much is on it. But then I just found the fuse. I think it's number 45, driver's side fuse panel, and it was actually like the fuse itself wasn't broken, like the inside of it, but a terminal fell off because I guess the cab must have got water in it or something at some point, and all the fuses are all corroded. But this one here, the terminal broke off the end of it, and that's why the gauge cluster wasn't turning on. And that fuse also is the fuse for the throttle pedal, which is electronic in the diesels, of course. But so apparently these trucks won't run without the gauge cluster. I don't know if that's true. That could cause problems later on in the project, but if it needs the gauge cluster, I can figure it out. But yeah, because it's also for the throttle, I thought that might also be a factor to it not starting, because I don't know if it'll start without a signal from the pedal. So it's a pretty important little fuse. So here's the video of when it finally started up. Here you go.